Welcome back, guys. We're here with another episode, and today what I think we're going to wind up doing is taking this carburetor off because it's all gummed up and getting it rebuilt. We're also going to go ahead and change these filters. I have one here and one at the back by the tank, just before the fuel pump. So what we're going to do is we're going to run up to the parts store, get those filters and all that, and then when we get back, we're going to turn around and try to get this carburetor off. That way I can take it up to my buddy's shop. He makes a living by rebuilding carburetors. First thing in the morning, that's where we're going to drop it off, do a little time lapse of him rebuilding it. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure if he wants to be on the channel or not. I'll ask him first if he wants to. Then we'll do a time lapse of him rebuilding it. And we'll see what we get into on this episode. So, glad you're along for the journey. Alright guys, so we're back from the parts store and we picked up our filters. This one's for up by the carb. This one's for down by the tank just before the pump. So tomorrow when we clean out the fuel lines, that'll be when we put those on. But for right now, we're gonna get started on removing this carburetor right here. And you'll see in the morning that we're gonna be getting it rebuilt. And then we'll get it back on the car, get it tuned out, and hopefully this car will be running good. And then we'll start worrying about some other stuff. Till then, here comes a time lapse. Well, you see it. Here it is. Carburetor is off. She is full of all kinds of gunk. I don't know how much the camera can pick up of this, but I mean, there's all kinds of crap in here, and it's just dirty. So hopefully a nice rebuild will be good for her, and come back over here, and that's what we got left. So hopefully tomorrow we can get it all done and have it back on there and change the filters, and we'll be good to run it. And who knows what we'll do after that, but we'll catch you then. All right, guys, so it's the next day, and we are on our way over to my buddy's shop where he makes a living rebuilding carburetors, and catch you when we get there. See if we can't get a little time lapse of him rebuilding this carburetor we got chilling, and we'll see you there. Alright guys, so as you can tell, we've got the carburetor all tore apart. We're about to start reassembling it. AJ's out there sandblasting some stuff. As you can tell, this is all nice and clean now. Floats are nice and clean now. They don't look like it, they're just stained, but they're all clean. So we're gonna hop back to it, and here comes the time lapse of him putting it back together. Catch you then. well, we've made it back to the house. As you can tell, garage door shut. It's a little late. I wound up staying over at my buddy AJ's shop for a little bit longer than expected. But tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to get this all mounted back up on the car. I'm not going to connect the fuel lines because we're going to bleed these and blow all the crap out of them. I didn't show you this last time, but it's kind of hard to see. There's like big chunks of stuff inside the filter. I guarantee that's what had it all clogged. And when AJ took that carb apart, there was a lot of junk inside of it. I'm surprised it even ran, honestly. So what we're gonna do is, I got some new filters like I showed you the other day, and pretty much with that, we're just gonna take these filters off. I'm gonna run the hose down into a gas can, just using the pump. I'm just gonna blow everything out of the lines with no filters on it, put the new filters on, reconnect it to the carb, and then fill the fuel cell up and try to start the car, adjust the idle, adjust the air fuel on it. We're just gonna see what we can do with it, and then we'll do that. So here comes a little time lapse of this. Alright guys, so as you can tell, the carburetor's back on. That's all we had to do, just a couple bolts, nothing all that hard. So again, what we're going to do tomorrow is disconnect all these the filter up here, the filter down by the tank, blow all these lines out to make sure there's no gunk in it like that, and then we'll connect it all up, put some fresh fuel in it, and then we're going to try and start the car and set all the idle. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. But until then, we're gonna have to wait until the morning because it's a little late right now. I just wanted to get the car back on tonight, so we'll catch you in the morning. Alright guys, so it's the next morning, and pretty much what we're gonna wind up doing is I'm gonna disconnect the fuel lines right down here, flush out this main metal fuel line. I'm gonna rebuild these right here, put new filters on after I flush them, connect the carb, and once we got the carb all connected, we're gonna pre-fill it with fuel, just by cycling the key a couple times, and then after that we're gonna set our carb and see if we can get it to idle right. And that should be it for this video. I'm not 100% sure of how long this video is gonna be, but this has been like a 2-day event. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so you've seen we put all new fuel lines. I didn't film that part because I thought it was kind of tedious and boring, but all new fuel lines everywhere I could, all new filters, new tank, new fuel lines back here, and all that. So what we got next to do, carburetor's been rebuilt. We're gonna fill the tank up, see if it'll start. We're gonna prime the carburetor first, turn the key over a few times, and then we'll make sure the bowls are nice and filled. Then we'll try to start it, see how it idles. If it idles too high, I'll adjust it down, go from there. I also went out and I made this little vacuum gauge so I can adjust the air idle screws, hooked right up to this little front port right here. So pretty much what we're gonna do when we're looking at this, for the people who don't know, when you're adjusting a carburetor, right now they're 2.5 turns out for bench setting. I have it set the exact way that it was set before. It was really clogged up, so I imagine it's going to be off. I imagine it's going to be idling high. But basically what you'll do is you'll bench set it, and then I'll go half a turn off on the left or the right, whichever one I decide to start with first, and I'll continue to watch this vacuum gauge. What you're looking for is your highest vacuum, and then you'll back it off a half turn, and then you'll go to the other one. Your highest vacuum, once it starts to drop, then you back it off a half turn, sorry. Then you'll go to the other side, go up until this goes up to the highest vacuum it has, and then once it starts to drop, back it off a half turn, come back, and then start doing it with quarter turns and just fine tune it. I don't have a working tachometer in the car right now, so it's gonna be kind of hard to set the idle speed. But basically, I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear. If it sounds like it's revving up, I'm not gonna be letting it sit there and idle at 1500 RPM. I'm gonna kind of play it by ear and just whatever sounds the best to me. So let's get started with that. Too low? Off. It should spin the starter.
Yeah, when you turn it over, I'll turn it to starter.
Won't spin it.
Yeah, the starter's kicking out, but it's not spinning.
Well, as you can tell, she runs healthy. I got it to idle up a little bit. We revved it a couple times for you. I was gonna set the air idle screws right there. But in the process of that, I noticed it started puking fluid again. That's on me. I forgot to get a plug. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but we can't set the air idle screws until the car's warmed up, and obviously it won't warm up without puking fluid all over the ground. So we're gonna go ahead and end this video here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support. I really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. Peace.